Houston is amazing, but there's some things that I wish someone would have told me before moving here, such as 4 years from when I moved here, I'd be ready to leave Houston. Welcome back for another video. For those of you who are new here, my name is London. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., but I now live in Houston, Texas. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some things that you need to know if you're considering moving to Texas, and I wish that someone would have told me before I moved here. Let's get started. You guys get comfortable, get your tea, get your popcorn, get your coffee, get your wine, whatever you like, grab it because we have some things to talk about in this video. And I'm going to be telling you guys kind of like why I wish I would have known these things and why I am ready to leave Houston 4 years later. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about, and I have some notes here, have a real plan, not just a dream. Don't let it be like, oh, it sounds so cute to move to Houston. Everybody's moving to Houston. I want to go there. Like, no, this is reality. This is your real life. This is about to be your new life, and you need to have a plan for it. When I speak about having a real plan, not just a dream, I'm talking about money and the financial aspect of moving here. That's going to be like the first thing that we talk about. Don't move without a financial plan. Save enough to cover for a few months of living. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of money saved up in your savings account for those days that are like rainy days or in between time of finding a job. If you're not already coming here with a job, then you need to make sure that you have funds in your reserve until you're able to secure a job. So for example, like I came here doing real estate and I knew that like I could not get my real estate license until I moved here. So there was a gap in between me being in DC and being here and having my license. I had to study, I had to do the hours, I had to take a test, I had to find a brokerage. So you want to make sure that you have funds to like cover all of your expenses, your rent, your utilities, your leisure, and like for me, taking care of my child. So you just want to make sure that you have those reserves. Another thing is that you might have to tap into... Corey, stop. Sorry, guys. My cat is like scratching my nightstand. You may have to tap into your savings if you haven't secured a job before you've moved here. So you just want to make sure that you have like, I would say honestly, 6 months of savings to be able to supply all of your needs in case you don't have income for those 6 months. Compared to Washington, D.C. Stop. Compared to Washington, D.C., Houston is super, super affordable. Cost of living here compared to D.C. is amazing. That was one of the things that attracted me to moving to Houston. So that's a really good thing, is that if you're coming from somewhere like California, somewhere like Washington, D.C. or New York, the cost of living here is much less compared to where you're from. Let me tell you guys, when you move here, there is so much shopping. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. Houston is huge. It's a foodie town. Do not go out blowing a bag before you have money, consistent money coming in, and like you have that security financially. I don't know what has happened to me, but I feel like the older I get, I am so frugal. I'm so cheap. What I will say is my like key tip, spend 10% of your income every month. Or when you're buying a car, you're buying a house, 10% of your income. That's just what I say. Okay, let's talk about where you're going to live when you move to Houston. You need to do your research as to the areas that you want to live in when you move here. Y'all, I did not do that. I went online. I was like, oh, this looks nice. I called, did a virtual tour. My mom came and did like a FaceTime tour. The location was like really central and easy. Like it was in the loop in the city and easy to get downtown. I moved to the Heights when I originally moved here. I'm so sorry, you guys. I had to lock my cat into the bathroom. Back to what we're talking about. We're talking about where to live and like location. You want to make sure that you kind of scout out the areas and know the areas that you want to live in. When we first moved here, as I was saying, we moved to the Heights. Love. You guys, absolutely love the Heights. There's so much to do. It kind of gives me like that DC city feel, and me being a city girl, I need that. That's part of the reason why I'm ready to leave Houston. So when we lived in the Heights, baby girl was going into 5th grade, so her last year of elementary school, and her elementary school that she was zoned to, Travis Elementary, for any of you who are moving here, try to be zoned to Travis Elementary in the Heights if you have elementary age children. Phenomenal. Like, she went on an end of the school year trip, camping trip. I mean, so many opportunities and things that she was exposed to that she probably would not have been exposed to in the public schools in DC. But once you go to the middle school and the high school, you kind of have to move to the suburbs because those are not the best top rated schools. So we moved to Fort Bend County, like near Katy. The schools are all A rated. So location is going to be huge when you're considering moving here. Some areas that I would recommend, I already told you guys about the Heights. It's so trendy. It's super walkable. It's also family oriented. It's good for singles. It has some nice, we lived in a new construction townhome in the Heights that was for lease. Loved it. Another area is like Midtown. Midtown's going to be like more of like your nightlife kind of younger crowd. Midtown, yeah, it's going to be like kind of your younger crowd, but they do have some really nice townhomes there. And there's a lot of young professionals as well. Downtown is going to be your city living. You're going to have your skyline views. You literally are going to walk to everywhere living downtown. So that's another area that you can look in. Katy, that's where I mentioned we live right outside of Katy in Fort Bend County. Katy ISD has top rated schools as well, but Katy's nice because it's not too far from, say you want to go to the Heights. It's going to be like a 25-minute, 30-minute drive depending on traffic. Another area is Cypress, that's quieter, suburban feel. And then you have the Woodlands, which is like old money, rich money, more upscale. It's really nice, but to me, like Woodlands is super far. It takes me an hour from where I am right outside of Katy to get to the Woodlands, but that's another like really nice area is the Woodlands. Research the schools. If you have children, you want to research the schools. That's so important. It's so critical that they're in like a really good school because I feel like it's literally like street for street in regards to the zoning. So you want to make sure that the zoning is aligned with the school district that you want your child to be in, and even take the next step before you pick that location because sometimes there's rezoning. Call the school. Speaking of relocating here and figuring out the area that you want to live in, I highly, highly suggest that you hire a realtor or that you hire an apartment relocator. This is essential because you're not familiar with the area. They're going to have the familiarity with the area. They're going to know potentially the property managers. If you are leasing from a homeowner, they're going to be the one to do the negotiation. They're going to write up the application. They're going to do the lease. They're going to go over everything for you. So they're really just going to be your advocate. I think that one misconception you may have about having an agent when you relocate to Houston or anywhere is that you're concerned that you have to pay them a commission. So the way that it works, say that you're leasing from an apartment gives like a referral fee. And then if you're leasing from a homeowner, which is what I do because I'm living in a single family home, if you're leasing from a homeowner and you have a landlord, the landlord is the one who pays the agent their commission. So you don't have to worry about that. I feel like that's a big misconception or like a big concern that people have when people say that you should get a realtor, even when you're leasing and relocating. Next, we're going to talk about how huge, massive, like you guys, Houston is literally massive. It's so big. Okay, it takes 1 hour to get from one side of Houston to the next side of Houston. Like that's how large it is. And me being from like a small city in Washington, DC is small. Does not take an hour to get from one side of DC to the other unless it's traffic. But Houston is massive, you guys. It's so big and you need a vehicle. Do not come here without a vehicle. Those Ubers are going to add up unless you live downtown, going to work downtown, going to entertain downtown, like not going to go anywhere else. Then sure, you don't need to bring a vehicle. But if you plan to like explore Houston, I mean, there's so much to do. There's just so much to do, which we're going to talk about later in this video. But you need a car. Everything is extremely spread out. I don't know why. Like even the restaurants, like if you're going to a restaurant downtown, if you're going to a restaurant in Midtown, if you're going to a restaurant in River Oaks, if you're going to Galleria, everything is spread out, period. I highly, highly recommend you to come with a vehicle. Keep in mind, you guys, these are two things that are essential, especially if you're going to have a vehicle here. You need to have a toll pass and you need to have windshield coverage on your insurance. I feel like as soon as I got here with my commute back and forth to taking my daughter to cheer, actually I was headed to a showing and I got like a rock fell off of a truck and I got a crack in my windshield. I have never experienced that. Like, I know that that's probably a weird thing to never experience. You're like, girl, that happens everywhere. It don't happen in DC because we don't have big 18-wheeler trucks driving on the highways, like 10 of them. It's so transient here and there's so many trucks. And so windshield insurance, and you need to have a toll pass because there's tolls everywhere. And if you're not going to take the tolls, it's going to take you like 2 hours to get somewhere that's like 30, 45 minutes. So you need to have a toll pass. Houston, the grocery stores here, everything's bigger in Texas. Literally everything is bigger in Texas. So they have HEB, which is like their local, I think it's Texas only. I think it started in Dallas. I love HEB. They have Kroger. I don't really shop at Kroger. I usually go to HEB and Trader Joe's. So they have HEB, Kroger, they have Trader Joe's, they have Walmart. The Walmarts here in DC, we have a Walmart, but like it's not in the best area and no one would go grocery shopping at our Walmart in DC. But here the Walmarts are like super Walmarts. They're huge. They have big produce sections, meat, seafood, fish, sushi. They have everything, the Walmart, and they're so clean. So yeah, the grocery shopping here is elite. Check out HEB. Let me know in the comments once you do. This is the topic I'm most excited to talk about. The Houston food scene. You guys, I'm a huge foodie. I'm not a club girl. We'll talk about that later. I am a huge foodie, like all types of cuisine. I love going out to eat. Let's talk about budgeting as well, you guys. Like, don't be like me. Also, I feel like I gained 15 pounds when I moved here because of how much we were eating out. I've cut back on that, but I feel like that's just the excitement of moving. Like, take a month, take 2 months and do that. But after, start cooking at home. We're going to talk about this Houston food scene. I feel like it's at least twice a month. There's multiple new restaurants, coffee shops, bars, dining experiences opening in Houston, and I'm here for it. I love it. One of my favorites is Annabelle's. I love Tobayou Sushi. You guys need to try both of those places. But the food scene here, it's elite, it's top tier, it's so good. It's so good. Don't just think about Tex-Mex. Like, think about everything. The food here is just... oh my gosh, I'm getting hungry thinking about it. We're going to talk about a topic that I feel like I'm getting uncomfortable with already, just knowing that that's what we're about to talk about. The Houston social life and like making friends. Let's start off with the Houston social life because the making friends thing is a little sticky for me and makes me a little uncomfortable and makes my anxiety just like ignite, feel triggered. The Houston nightlife is huge. I have already kind of like done my nightlife, especially being 35. I had my daughter when I was young, so I have already experienced all the partying. Also, I went to undergrad in Miami. So I've done that, but Houston definitely does have a big, strong nightlife. I've done like a few things, which I'll put in like a few little clips here. It was fun, but it's not really my jam. I will say some things that like I've done with my daughter and my friends that were fun. Like we did Lake Conroe. There's so much to do here. Now, the making the friends part. I don't really know how to say this. I think you need to be intentional in making friends. And I feel as though sometimes people use the word friend lightly and loosely. My friends are friends that I've had since middle school, since high school, even my college friends. So here, I feel like the Southern hospitality, you can make acquaintances very easily. People are very, very friendly. And that was also a culture shock and an adjustment for me because I'm not used to people being so friendly. Like sometimes coming where I'm from, our culture, like we're near too friendly, it can be kind of phony. And I don't think that that's the case here. I think that people are genuinely more friendly, more open to making friends and like opening their homes to people, bringing people in. You guys can see I'm struggling with this because I feel like it's been kind of challenging, or I feel like I'm in my own way of building that foundation and like those deep friendships, but I'm just not as like open or have like that Southern hospitality. But I will say, like, you have to be intentional. You have to get out the house. I don't get out the house because I've spoken about that in other videos. Like, I work, I take care of my child, and by the time I'm done doing all of that, like, I'm exhausted. Or I honestly, now that my daughter's 13, I like going out with her, like hanging out with her. So making friendships, I feel like you can easily make acquaintances. And then of course you would build with those acquaintances and then they become a friend. But yeah, people are super friendly here. People are outgoing. But I will also say that like in the South, that prejudice, oh, it's there. And people, I feel like, are more open about it and outspoken about it and show it more. So yeah, so that's another reason that like I'm kind of ready to leave Houston, is because of that prejudice piece. And I've seen it more so in the workplace, which has been an adjustment because I've never experienced that in DC. I've never had someone not want to work with me because of the color of my skin. That's kind of the whole bit on friendships and nightlife here in Houston. Houston has a big happy hour scene. So again, going on those, like if you want to socialize and make friends, definitely do like some of the happy hours. There's so many events. There's run clubs, there's walk clubs. It's a big fitness community here, which I love too. So like the hot Pilates, there's just a lot of networking and a lot of socializing that you can do here to like make friends and meet new people. Let's talk about the climate. Let's talk about the weather in Houston. Oh my gosh, you guys. I think that this is one of the most bipolar places I've ever lived. And I mentioned earlier that I went to undergrad in Miami. So I lived in Miami for 5 years as well. Houston gets scorching during the summer. Come May, come June, until like September, early October, it's so hot. It's unbearable. There's no eating outside. You get like 1 month in the spring of eating outside. It's so hot. Stay hydrated. I remember when we first moved here, our complex, the townhouse that we lived in the Heights, they had a pool. And my daughter and I went to the pool. I could not believe that the water was warm, like hot. I'm like, you go to the pool to cool off for that refreshing feel. No, you guys, it was hot. It does get really cold. Like last year we had a little bit of snow. I'll put a little clip of that. This year got really cold. So they get freezing temperatures. The thing that you have to worry about here are like the hurricanes. And then when it freezes, the grids cannot handle the cold. So sometimes people will lose electricity. Another thing that like I didn't consider when moving here, which is not really a big deal, but it definitely impacted me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to find my nail person, my hair person, my skincare person, like my dermatologist, doctors, healthcare, all those things. So you have to get like, make sure you have all of your medical records to come here when you're switching doctors. As far as hair care, I tried out like a few hairstylists before I was able to find mine. As far as nails, I went to Milano Nails, which is super controversial on TikTok right now. If you guys look up Milano Nails, the prices are high, yes, and they're not that good. Like their work is not that good. So that's why there's so much going on. But I've been able to find like a nail salon here. Those things you'll find it. You just kind of have to test out different people. One wild thing to me that I could not believe, the nail salons serve alcoholic beverages. I was shocked that they serve alcohol here. Like I could not believe it. My final thoughts on Houston: great food, affordable housing, plenty to do, super diverse culture. Definitely be prepared for like how big it is. Be prepared for the traffic. Make sure that you have your toll pass. Make sure that you get your windshield insurance. I feel like if Houston is somewhere that you really want to move to, really want to experience, go for it. As I said in the beginning of the video, like I've enjoyed my time here. As soon as my lease is up in 2027, I am moving out of Texas. It's just not for me, which is okay. It's not for everybody, but like I love that I was able to experience it. I love that my daughter's ready to experience, but both she and I are ready to go. We're ready to actually move abroad. But we're definitely ready to make that move abroad and see what that looks like for us. Thank you guys so much for watching my video today. I hope that this helped. If you guys have any questions at all, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day, you guys.